Okay, folks, today what we're doing is we're going to be doing the 50% used motor oil, and that is a kerosene jug, but it has off-road diesel in it. That is a 1.5 gallon Wagner. It's called the Pro 130. Let's see, I think it says it on somewhere on here. Yeah, right here. So this, I bought this for just for doing this job. So this is the Wagner Control Pro 130. It is the newer version that has the new T2 sprayer. Now the one thing that this does not allow you to do is adjust pressure. You can change your sprayer tip size there. It comes with a 515, which works fine. Has a little bit more overspray than I would like, but that's all right. So anyways, it holds 1.5 gallon, which is 6 quarts. And I measured out and filter, ran through a paint strainer, 3 quarts, so that's half the container. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up to the, till it's essentially full. I'll put 3 more quarts of red off-road diesel. This mixture doesn't need to be precise. You don't have to get crazy measuring and being perfectly 50-50. Anything close enough is good enough. Some people do 25% diesel. That's just up to you how you want to do it. I've had good luck with 50-50. So let me get this mixed and we'll go ahead and get spraying and show you. Okay, so this is the off-road diesel, and that's my Control Pro 130. So I'll go ahead and put some diesel in here to thin it down some. And I'm hoping out of this 1.5 gallon that I could get this, want to get this shed here, or this one here, and then I have a wood shed that I built. I want to get that also. Alright, that's plenty. I call that full. And I call that approximately 50-50 mix. When you're spraying this, it's a good idea to have at least an N95 mask, if not an actual respirator. Put safety glasses on, just try to keep some of the mist that may come off of it, from your eyes, from your lungs, all that kind of good stuff. So this machine here, come on closer, please. So this machine here has a priming mode and then a spraying mode. So when you prime, it's essentially pulling through the pump, running around and back into itself. Some people will take this and you could flip this out into another container. If you're trying to run a cleaner or a solvent or something like that, you can put it in here, go into a bucket with this hose, and you could push your solvent out and clean it that way. Just up to you how you want to do it. So again, okay, so that pressurized my line. There's still going to be some air in the line, but it's essentially ready to spray now. So I'll put the top back on. And you saw I didn't even bother stirring or mixing. It'll do that on its own, I'm sure. So here we go. So come over like on an angle here so they can see what I'm doing. All right. On the board and batten, you do have to make sure you get all your sides, and if you come in close while I'm spraying once, you can see I'm putting it on very wet and letting it run. then another great thing about this oil mixture with the diesel, it is thinner and it will soak in and travel. And as I showed in some of my other videos on my shed, you actually see around any knots or defects in the wood, you see the diesel and the oil on the inside of the shed. It has actually traveled through the 1-inch thick wood and is coming out on the inside of the building. So if you do miss a little spot here and there, you're going to get that absorption is going to happen, and it's going to wick its way across, and it's going to take care of its own wetting. And you will see pretty quickly, like some of the more porous areas of the wood are going to draw in. You see how light that is? That wood right there is a softer spot, and it'll just draw that fluid right in, and you can see it happening as we're talking. You can see it's going away already. Like, watch here. So you'll see that, I mean, it's dripping with oil, and within seconds, just like that, you'll see it lighten up as it's just pulling through the wood. And that's fine. I'll let that go, and we'll come back at it. I'll probably let it go for this year, get it sprayed once. We'll come back next year, let it all soak in again, and get another hit, and it'll be good to go. And like I said, this stuff, like your wood boring bees, your termites, your black carpenter ants, none of that stuff likes this. So once you have put this on here, you have kind of ruined this wood for all those insects that want to destroy what you've built. So come around to the back, and we'll spray that. And I will put a link to the Wagner, the PowerFlow 130. I'll put that link in for Home Depot for you. And I'll do that off camera. I'll get a ladder and hit the top. But now I'm going to run around and do the front and the other side real quick. This by far we've tried with brushes. We've tried with pump up garden sprayers. The speed that this gives you is just crazy fast compared to anything else that we've tried. Alright, so that gives you an idea. This is 10 by 10, I believe. Yeah, it's 10 by 10. 10 by 10. So I did 2 walls and almost the whole third wall, 8 feet high, with the 1.5 gallon. So we'll stop the video here. You get the point what we're doing, the Pro 130, how quick and easy it makes it. I'm gonna go wash my hands, filter out another 3 quarts of oil, get it all mixed up. I'll finish this building, and then we'll see you later. I'll do another video. I'll do one when I get the wood shed later. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, now that it's been a couple hours, everything's done. So here's the small shed around back. I still haven't trimmed my plastic. That's what you see down here. And my fascia boards are painted white. I'm not replacing them. They're not rotten. I don't care. But this is what it looks like after sitting for a while and having time to soak. Just trying to give you a good view of it here. We'll go hit this side over here. See where the sun's hitting it. But it looks really nice. I will lighten up, being that this was the first time doing it. Next year when I do it, it'll get dark and it'll actually stay dark, more similar to that was done last year, and then again this year, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. I did that when I did that. See how light that is? That's what this, in this image here, you can see them both. So the same wood, right? The same guy cut, same hemlock. So that wood looked like this wood when it was first sprayed, and then after whatever it's been, 3-4 weeks, you see how it pulls in. And this one here will do the same thing. And next year I'm going to respray that one. I'm going to respray this one. I'll probably not hit that shed again, because that shed, like I said, it'll stay pretty dark now. I'll give that a few years. But then you see the wood shed back there. Here, we'll walk over to that. Show you how that one turned out. So that one turned out real nice also. And I think I did 4 mixes, 1.5 gallons total. So that's 3, gallon and a half is 3 quarts of oil, 3 quarts of diesel. Is 1.5 gallons, and I made the 1.5 gallon mix 4 times to do this and that. All right, so you do go through some stuff. I mean, you are going to buy a little bit of diesel fuel, but holy crap, is it going to be cheap compared to buying store-bought stain. But I mean, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? That looks nice. And like I said, that's had two years. Last year and this year was sprayed. And the sprayer really makes the job so fast. Just, you know, like I said, we tried the brushing thing, and we tried the garden sprayer thing, and the garden sprayers don't really handle it well. They kind of like spit and sputter and clog. And you know, using the Wagner power sprayer or any other brand of power sprayer, an airless paint sprayer, you know, you just get the work done so fast. And you can see how wet, like you can see how wet I have this stuff. Like you can see oil sort of laying on the top, right? I mean, I do not worry about over applying, right? And look, nothing drips on the ground. They're like, you know, you see the ground? You know, you hear people talking, oh my God, you know, when you're doing this, you're just gonna be saturating the ground. It really, this rough cut wood, that finish on it is so, you know, has so many pores and openings that, you know, you have to go nuts to really try to, you know, get it to like run and drip off. It just doesn't really happen. It doesn't drip off. You know, even up here doing all this stuff above head, you get some mist on your face and arms. That's why you see me wearing a mask and stuff. You know, to try to breathe, you know, try to breathe my air through that mask and stop the oil droplets. But as far as dripping, you get very little actual dripping on you because this rough cut wood, it's not like the store-bought planed wood. This stuff just holds and pulls in. And like this stuff was sprayed a year ago and once this year, and I just sprayed it again. So this is the second coat this year, and this stuff used to be on the outside of the shed before my neighbor blew my shed apart. But also the oil that was used on this, that's right, this oil was straight oil brushed on the first coat, and it was really dirty oil from a buddy of mine. It was not my oil that gets changed every 5,000 miles. So this was a dirtier oil. It was originally brushed on straight with no diesel, and you could just see how much more black that is compared to going to my better maintained cars, and mixing with diesel really gives you the brown and takes away a lot of that burnt look of really crappy old oil. But, and I do, like even my pressure treated posts, you know, and the pressure treated decking, you know, I made sure that's all hit. To modern pressure treated lumber sucks. It really is not like the old stuff that had arsenic and whatnot in it. This stuff, it's pressure treated. It's better than not, but it is not the long-lived product of our grandfathers and fathers. But anyways, there you go. Like, share, and comment. Thank you guys.